Do you often think that you can't make money while traveling, or you feel like you just can't escape the rat race, even when investing into real estate? Well, watch this video because I made $7,400 per month from just these 3 properties with 3 individual strategies. I used to come home drained, and I used to jump on YouTube and search for some sort of financial freedom so I could escape my current life of being a healthcare practitioner. And unfortunately, I didn't find that one thing. It was actually lying in front of my eyes. These 3 properties, which I'm about to show you today, with 3 key different strategies, show you how I made $7,400 per month whilst living overseas in a completely different environment, completely remote and completely hands-off. But let's take it back. Why are we here? Well, my name's Sanjay Parasha and I'm on the journey from 50 to 100 properties now. I currently hold 50 properties under my ownership, and all of these strategies were uncovered along the way. It happened over a 5-year timeline and after a lot of mistakes as well. And these 3 very strategies are able to be plugged into anyone's current strategy, whether you're looking to purchase the property as is, whether you're looking to sublease the property, so just rent out someone else's property, or whether you're looking to improve a current property that you have and try and improve the overall cash flow. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't financial advice, but more just my experiences, and I want to share the plus sides and the downsides of anything I do. But before we get started, I just want you to write down these 3 very strategies, because anyone can implement them and all you need is the ability to execute. You need a very simple strategy and it's very easy to do. A lot of people are doing them. You just need to select which one is right for you. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. And more importantly, you'll see much more of this from my 50 to 100 strategy, because it works, it provides increased cash flow, it gives me stability in down times, and more than anything, I don't have to rely on external businesses or trading time for money or a 9-to-5 job to be able to keep pushing forward. I utilize my real estate investing strategy as more like a business, because the business is stable, you can touch the asset, and not only are you getting the cash flow, but you're getting the capital appreciation year on year, because if you continuously improve those properties and be the best in your market, your property will continue to appreciate, and this is how the rich get richer. And I wish the billionaires were out there teaching me and you on how they scale their property portfolios, utilizing equity, utilizing cash flow, utilizing forced appreciation so they can continue to acquire more whilst mum and dad try and get into their first property. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Property number 1. Now, this investment strategy is absolutely key because you can actually acquire short-term rentals as part of your property purchase. Now, I thought it was actually going to be a massive issue at the start when I purchased this property, because not only did I have to purchase the property, but I had to learn short-term rentals, learn how to run the operation, learn how to deal with cleaners, learn how to be hospitable, and this all wasn't natural for me. The core issue at the time was I actually didn't believe the numbers, because this property alone generates me $1,000 a week in net profit. Because as you can see, it's very close to the beach. It's actually very well renovated, extremely well designed, and the beautiful owner that I purchased this from put their heart and soul into this one unit. Now, when I jumped into this game, I did not know that I could acquire this and my profits could be that much. Once I realized that I could leverage from the systems that it taught me, the whole game changed, because I slowly started converting every single unit in this whole apartment block to short-term rentals. But why wouldn't you if it makes you $1,000 a week? And in reality, it was my starting point, and it was the best starting point possible because all the operations were put in place, from the cleaners to the supplies to the back-end systems to the automation tools, and more importantly, the pricing strategy was already set. And I was already competing in such a hot market close to the beach. The vibe and the experience we provided was far better than anything around us. So it gave me the best start. And if you're looking for your best property journey, property number 1 could be the way for you, because you could already pick up an existing structure of holiday homes and just jump into that operation and then implement the strategy. This takes me to one of my favorites because now I've been able to implement this very strategy globally. And when I came to the UAE in Dubai, I did the very same thing to improve my cash flow position, to understand the market, to be able to trust the market, because it was a new environment for me and it's somewhere that I wasn't experienced. I like to usually focus on the data rather than my gut feeling because the data never lies. So the second property is subleasing. Now, this property was acquired in northern New South Wales. Fantastic location, right by the river, close to community and regional areas where people could visit, and right next to some of the best beaches in the world. Now, unfortunately, this one happened by accident and due to a negative event when I was renting out the property, and I didn't have many options. So I approached the owner at the time and said, look, can I legally sublet this so I can actually put it on the short-term rental with your permission? And they agreed. So here's how the numbers work. It costed me, when I first jumped into this, $500 a week. I went in there, I furnished it, I made it a vibe, I made it an experience based on all my previous short-term rentals and how they actually worked and popped in the region. We took amazing creatives and we set up all the back-end system strategies, including the automation tools, including the pricing strategy, including all our guest manuals, and more importantly, the administration. Once it was set up, it started to generate me $900 a week, pretty much from day one when I listed it, and allowed me then to have a net gain of $400 per week. Now, please keep in mind that $900 a week was after all my expenses, including cleaning expenses or any energy bills that came my way. Now, the beautiful thing about this is I never owned it. I never took any risk. All I did was I furnished it, and there was a little bit of capital up front there. And then outside of that, this was just a straight profit, which pays me to this day. Now, the beauty about it is that the actual landlord's quite happy because they're receiving a consistent rent. And more importantly, we show them how we upkeep the property with regular photos, with regular cleaners up once or twice a week. And we have to because we want to have the highest guest experience possible and 5-star reviews or 10-star reviews at all times. So it's a beautiful strategy for both the landlord and yourself, and anyone can do subleasing. Actually, in our free community on school, which I'll leave a link below, we actually take everyone through a full subleasing strategy because it almost requires no money down to be able to purchase a property. You can simply execute this strategy anywhere in the world in a very hot market, and inside the school group we give you the very tools to understand the data in any type of market, even with other types of experts in there, and even access to our inner circles where you can ask us questions directly. So if that's for you, you can join our school group. It's absolutely free and we can get you started that way. Property number 3. Now, this is such an interesting one because I acquired the property not as a short-term rental and I didn't sublet it. So this is for people out there that currently own properties, that are potentially renting their property, but maybe want to improve their cash flow, because from this very strategy, I got an extra $450 per week based off the current rental that I was currently getting. Now, how this one worked, it was an 8 block, which means there was 8 studios in this one apartment block that I purchased. And I had an inkling that the data looked very, very well versed if I did convert the studio, which I'd never done a studio, it was always a 1-bedroom or more. Now, the way we designed this was quite smart, and we turned this into a $450 profit per week, which is wild. And what it allowed me to do was prove the model, number 1, but number 2, I was able to then scale an additional 3 properties inside that unit block to provide half the diversity to be able to scale even further. And in the end of the day, providing you $450 per week uplift just from one studio, you can now imagine the numbers if you times that by 8. So all I simply did was I went into the property, it was already in very good condition. I converted it to be more hospitable, to be able to allow for a short-term rental, and that short-term rental, that one change, implementing all the back-end systems and the strategy, including all the automations, allowed me to obtain an additional $450 per week. It was an absolute no-brainer. But what we've done today is we've given you 3 individual strategies for anyone to get started. Whether you're looking to purchase the property and acquire a short-term rental so you understand the operations, because that can often be the hardest bit, to learn the hospitality aspect of that business, or conducting a sublease deal where you don't even need to own the property, you just need to focus on the back-end strategy to make that listing extremely successful so you don't take a risk. Or number three, you currently may have a property, you want to convert it to a short-term rental. Now, the reality is that it did take me years and years to master this. And ideally, you can always reach out to a mentor or do your own research to be able to implement this quite quickly into one of your strategies, whether you own the property or you don't, or you may be looking to acquire. You can also join our free school community and join hundreds of other people that are inside the community right now that are also learning the same steps and bounce off one another, or join Facebook communities out there, or even look at more YouTube videos. But in the end of the day, anyone can implement this. All you need is the strategy and have confidence in that strategy. And more importantly, like I always say, look at the data. Guys, I make this channel and YouTube videos so you can have the most insight into the positives and negatives and also follow the journey from 50 to 100 properties. So if that's you and you're looking to get into the game and looking to improve your cash flow and escape your 9-to-5 job, this is exactly why we do this. More importantly, I would love if you could subscribe, leave a comment below, follow me on Instagram, send me a DM. I reply to everyone. That way we can interact and start to understand where you're at. And if you need to go from point A to point B, I'll be here for you. So we'll see you in the next one.